If I told you that there were a coordinating body to keep the US right wing on message, who would you say that is? I think most would probably say the Republican Party or the Heritage Foundation. Maybe those more in the know would say the Conservative Partnership Institute, but actually all of those organizations are coordinating with a different body. If you've never heard of them, let me be the first to introduce you to the Council for National Policy. They are an extraordinarily secretive Christian dominionist organization. If you're unfamiliar, don't beat yourself up. It's how they want it. In her book on the subject, Columbia professor Ann Nelson writes, the CNP was founded in 1981 by a small group of arch-conservatives who realized the tides of history had turned against them. To keep their Christian nationalist vision of the country intact, they would have to organize, though with God first and these values in mind, members and leaders of these groups and more would go on to shape policy. Quietly. As president of their action arm, Bob McEwen says, the CNP doesn't do ad campaigns, it doesn't do brochures, it is a meeting of leaders. Anything that's done is done by membership and not by the council. While the CNP has always been secretive, here is a glimpse at their policies circa 2016. As they say, they are an educational networking organization. Membership is to be confidential, and media inquiries are reserved for the president and the executive director alone. Thankfully, Anne and other journalists, like those at Documented, have been able to access that document, as well as many of the others I reference. Here are just some of the available membership lists that have been hacked or leaked. So why do I know about the Council for National Policy? Why does this matter to me? Well, hi, I'm Abby, and I have lupus, for which I take the drug hydroxychloroquine. You may have heard of it. In 2020, when I couldn't refill the years-old prescription that keeps my immune system from attacking my internal organs, I set out to learn why. And it's actually really complex, but a major player is unquestionably the CNP. While most people were fighting with social services over the phone or baking sourdough bread or what have you, the CNP was regrouping. Leaders like those mentioned below teamed up with, in their own words, an extremely pro-Trump doctors coalition. The American people trust doctors, they said on a May 11, 2020 phone call. Why not have those doctors sell the American people a cure? So while this clown show was often reduced to clips about horse paste or demon semen, at the very least 825,000 lupus patients had to ration or go without that medication. At the August CNP meeting, slightly more than a month after those doctors stood on the steps of the Supreme Court touting propaganda, ads featuring doctors in white lab coats and stethoscopes were shown. Market research said voters trust them. And like any good society of spectacle, Job Creators Foundation Network president reminded the crowd, what we're trying to do is put on theater here. It's the stage. It's the script. It's the actors. So then I suppose it only stands to reason that the lupus medication I could not access were the props. While it can be easy to imagine an organization like this, with so many members tied to the insurrection like Ginny Thomas and the currently imprisoned Dr. Simone Gold, among plenty of other operatives with various degrees of fame, it is worth remembering an important lesson from Hannah Arendt. In 1971, she wrote of Adolf Eichmann that she was struck by his shallowness. His deeds were monstrous, but the doer was quite ordinary, commonplace, and neither demonic nor monstrous. So while they may not do brochures, they absolutely do programs for their banal meetings in hotel ballrooms. So now, what would you think?